Listen up. We have a banger for you. We have what we love to see as justice. We have a bad cop. I gotta fix my new light, man. We have a bad cop. I need new batteries, chat. I need to get them put in here. Uh, Bad cop, but justice, man. This cop is gets caught planting drugs on civilians, innocent men and women. And this story, it has to be told because, uh, again, education is, and Truthtellers is all about getting the truth out there. Because there's so many, there's good cops, man. And, but there's a lot of bad cops too. And there's been, you know, YouTube, between YouTube and body cams have truly come together and have held police departments like accountable like never before, hands down, never before. And I believe accountability is so important. And just like telling the truth is so important because we have to educate those that are not educated in the area of law enforcement and the law. Because if you don't know that a cop can't just ask for your ID unless you are suspected of a crime, every time a cop walks up to you, you're going to do exactly what he asks you to do. You're going to be a robot. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. And cops know right away if you know and if you don't know. And the more you don't know, the more they can get away with. And the more that you don't know, the more they can plant things. They can lead you astray. Uh, they can get you to almost commit to. They've even got people confessing crimes. You know, we got to get this case. This is the perfect guy to put this case on. You know, I'm telling you, it's out there. And so this uh, what we do, what a lot of YouTubers do, is just simply get the truth out there. Yes, there's a lot of junk out there. Yes, there's a lot of just humble jumble stuff out there. But I want to help people because I believe it's very important because I know it's helped me in understanding. So listen, if you enjoy our channel, if you enjoy what we're doing, if it's your first time here, we will welcome you. When you come into my house, say hello. Listen, man, be respectful. If you like what you do, please subscribe. Help us. Our first goal is because we're a new channel. We're getting to that first 1,000. So the first 500, come on, something special for you. Be part of the first 500. And then second of all, we once we hit that first 1,000, we're doing very well on you on Facebook, but this is a new channel. We need to go to the next level. Help us get there, so because more free and the more we can do and the more it's available to us, and then we get out there and do. And especially if we're doing something good, man, support good if you can. We definitely are doing something good here. So listen, guys, please, and lastly, comment. I want you to comment. Let me know what you think, and if you have any something or story that you wish could be told, let us know. We would more like to do and would love to support uh, our followers, especially if it's a story you really is your heart's desire. Yeah, let's do it. All you gotta do is write me and let me know what's it about. And as long as like I said, it's something we can get out there, tell the truth on. I am 100% behind that. No further ado. Why don't we just go ahead and get busy? Go ahead. Make sure you please write in the comments. I need to hear from you.
It's squared away, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I do have an issue with something within the vehicle.
What's that? It's April 8th, 2018 in Jackson County, Florida. What should have been a typical day for a motorist suddenly becomes a life-changing encounter with Sheriff's Deputy Zachary Wester.
The day I got stopped, I was actually on my way to work. I was coming through a small town. There was a police officer sitting underneath the overpass, and when he pulled in behind me, I still really didn't think anything of it until the lights came on. And that was when I was like, this is really weird.
Pulled you over. Your driver's license is not valid. Okay. Pulled you out to talk to you about it.
He said that my license had been suspended, and he realized that when he ran my plate. I was like, that's strange because you were facing me under the overpass, and you followed me for 3 miles before you flicked the lights on. So the red flags were already going up.
You made a spontaneous statement about there was a handgun in the center console. You said it was okay for me to go retrieve that handgun from the center console.
Yes. He asked if there was anything in the vehicle that I thought he should be concerned about, and I was honest with him. I told him I've got a handgun in the center console, and he asked me if I had a concealed weapons permit. I said, no, you don't need one in Florida.
At that point, he had probable cause to pull that car over. Keep in mind, a lot of times, the reason I pull you over does lead into further investigation.
See, what he's doing is that he's fishing. It's called fishing. What police do is they get behind you. If they can't find anything that you're doing while you're driving, they'll make something up. Oh, I just noticed you swerved, or I just want to make sure you're okay, or whatever. You know what I mean? And they make something up. But as they go into it, they start asking questions. And for instance, like, and the guy's like, is there anything in the car I should know about? And this, yeah, I have a handgun, just to let you know. So now, probable cause, all these. See, the whole thing is that this guy wants to get into your car, not because he thinks you have drugs, because he wants to plant drugs. So this guy is trying. His whole motivation in doing this, and 100%, I know what it is. He wants to make detective. And if long as he keeps making these drug stops and being successful in this, that very well can happen soon. Anytime, because they're always up for like how their job's doing, evaluations and stuff. So, and that stuff is huge. Anytime an officer makes a drug bust, falls into, find somebody a kidnapping or whatever it may be, they get big kudos for that stuff. And so this guy is working hard. Like he's like he wants to be, he wants to do something big, and he probably thinks that he deserves it, and that's it. So check it out. Let's go.
Based on what I see, or maybe information that I gathered during that traffic stop.
All right. I'm going to read you your rights. Just because I read your rights does not mean you're going to jail. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court.
I knew I didn't have anything to hide. That's why I let him search my vehicle. I trusted the process. Well, those feelings changed a little bit when he read me the
And I'm not going to keep stopping like this, chat. Listen. Do not let them in your car. I don't care. He just said, oh, I'm okay. All right. He didn't know this guy was going to be a dirty cop. He didn't know. No, listen, if you ain't got a warrant, you have no probable cause to get into my car or whatever. And if he does, okay, then you let him in. There's nothing you can do. But if he doesn't, no, I don't want anybody in my car. There's no reason for you to be in my car. You did a traffic stop, give me the ticket, do whatever, and let us move on. And then second of all, they have 15 minutes to write you a ticket. That's why they're always trying. The only way they can extend that stop from a traffic stop is if they can get like more information on like probable cause, or I can smell weed in the car. That's why they make stuff up, because then they're able to stretch that stop. Because by law, they have 15 minutes, at the most 20, to get you pulled over, deal with the issue, write the ticket, and have you on your way. They can't have you sitting there for an hour, for 2 hours, just talking to you. No, it's like get the ticket. That's why just say no, no. Don't make their job easy because when you make their job easy, they make your life hard.
Miranda rights.
Open up the center console, shove down in between the front passenger seat and where the center console is at. I saw what appeared to be a syringe sticking out. Whenever I went, I looked further, pulled the seat apart.
Jeez.
The syringe is actually in like a plastic, larger baggie with a plastic container with a substance in it that appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
I was shocked. I had no idea what the heck he was talking about because I'm not a meth user. I don't do drugs. I've never smoked pot. I've physically never done drugs in my life. It blew my mind that he was in here questioning me about this.
You've never seen this before?
Dude, I have no idea.
It's just wild. I was so surprised that it was methamphetamines of all things. It wasn't weed. It wasn't like a crack pipe. It was methamphetamines. It was a used needle.
Wow.
Dude, I don't use. I mean, you see where we're at.
Yeah, man, you gotta
Yeah,
check like
yeah.
this.
We're standing here. This definitely has the appearance of illegal activity.
it-
You're swearing you know nothing about
It
it.
just puts me in a bad spot, man.
You know, I thought there had to be an
What a
explanation.
liar, man.
Maybe somebody left it in my car. I don't know. I have employees. Maybe that's a possibility. But I know the people I hire. We do background checks. I simply don't have addicts working for me.
I'm not saying you're a bad person, okay?
Yeah.
You don't appear to be a user, okay? And if you are a user, you've not been using it long. Or you understand where I'm coming from, right?
Dude, I'm
How does he know that?
I come home, I sleep, I go back.
Just for him to say, he's just trying to make it easy because he doesn't want to make himself look like what he's really doing is being an a-hole. And how do you know how long someone's been using? By the way they look? Yes, yeah. Sometimes you can judge that, but that's not true. There's people that take care of themselves and work and use drugs. Weekends or whatever it may be. But this, he's saying too much. The minute he said that, that would make me go like, what's up with this dude, man? Now he knows how long I've been using, or if I was using, or he's a cop. Cops don't they don't study stuff like that. I mean, my gosh.
I don't hang
The-
out, party, I don't.
The state entrusts me to be a fact finder, right? Try to put all the pieces to the
Yeah,
puzzle
they entrust you.
together.
Big
If I had
mistake.
$1 for every time someone told me these aren't my pants, though you have them on, and we find the drugs in them, I'd be a very wealthy man. There's that initial denial phase.
I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, man. When it's a felony, I have no discretion in the state of Florida for that, okay? I can't just throw that in a ditch out here and act like it never happened.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to jail today for possession of methamphetamine, for possession of drug paraphernalia.
He took me to jail. My dad worked at the federal prison there, and I grew up around his lieutenant. My mom made the phone call to him,
Wow.
and she said, hey, something's wrong. Joshua just got arrested for methamphetamines possession. He went in and he signed a paper for conditional release. And he even questioned me. He grilled me pretty hard. Is there something I don't know? Are you making me look like an idiot? I was honest with him and said no. I was treated like a criminal through the whole my life.
Joshua Manuel is adamant he's innocent. Is he telling the truth? Is something else going on here? Little did he know at the time, he would not be the only person claiming the same thing after being pulled over by Deputy Wester.
I've got to test
Wow,
this.
man.
Have you ever seen this before?
No. No, what is that?
It did field test presumptive positive for methamphetamine. Okay? Let me ask you this. If I read you your rights, will you talk to me?
I talked to you, man.
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. Hey, dude, I'm.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there, okay?
These drug crimes are serious. These were possession charges of methamphetamine, which can carry years in jail. if people have other prior offenses, the penalty can be even more extreme.
Going to jail, you are being looked at.
Wow, man.
Get it back in that. No, I ain't had.
You know what's sad, man, is that this, I hate to call him, but he's a pig. This is what you call a pig. There's some good cops out there. This guy has no regard to people's lives, man. Has no regard to their jobs, to their families, to what this does to someone's life. He's pulling over innocent people, man. People that have no record, people that have never been in trouble. I mean, two of the men of here said they have never done drugs before. Maybe a little bit of weed, but have flown pretty straight in life. And to be charged with a felony, and this cop knowing that he's railroading every one of these people, that he's lying, and he's moving forward with these cases after case after case after case, these innocent people. So that just blows me away. Second of all, do we not have enough criminals for him to go find a criminal and deal with? Or was he scared of dealing with criminals? I mean, some of these guys have no guts, man, and have no heart, so they just pull over just everyday moms and dads and grandpas and, mothers with children in the car. And oh, I got a bus, another drug bus, another drug bus, another drug. Can you imagine? This guy goes home, just another day at the job, on the building his career on the backs, on breaking the backs of innocent Americans, man. People have losing their jobs because of this. Not just going to jail, but losing their jobs. Probably some even lost their marriage because their wife didn't believe them, or their husband didn't believe the wife. She was caught with drugs, and can you imagine? Man, crazy. I mean, out. Wow.
Or both in constructive possession of it.
There's also collateral consequences.
Comment, chats. I want to hear you from you guys.
Standing in the community, custody of their children, trust of their loved ones.
See?
People who have taken a different path in life and have become sober. Now people believe that they've been lying.
You didn't have any weapons or anything you was trying to hide back there?
Wow, man.
I can get invasive on the way here in just a minute.
Sheesh.
That was a
Sheesh.
slick move, man. Very slick
That ain't
move.
mine, man.
Go ahead and put your hands
No,
up.
hell no, that ain't mine.
Do not resist.
Look at this guy. Look how he's treating people, man.
That ain't mine, man. What you
See
talking
that
about?
dot? Don't check it.
What are you doing, man?
At first glance, these stops appear to be somewhat routine in
God, man.
During my career, I saw drugs hidden in numerous places. A seasoned officer is going to do their due diligence to search every inch of that
Jeez,
vehicle.
man.
Many times people who are drug users, if they get stopped and they have the drugs, they're in that panic mode. So they're just going to slide it between the seats. They're going to try to hide it really quick. So it doesn't surprise me that some of this legal drugs were found like in a crack of a seat. That doesn't really raise any suspicions to me.
Hey, what'd you find?
Huh?
What'd you find? Where is that?
And that flashlight. Whenever I opened it up, there were some crystals on top.
I walked up. It was shoved in between this back seat right here and this back. She was making a lot of movements, just saying that her knees were hurting.
Imagine that.
But is everything really as it appears to be? Upon a closer review, there's something off with Wester's arrests.
there was troubling behavior that the officer exhibited, such as going back and forth between his vehicle and the recovery vehicle. Every time that this contraband was recovered, there was it appeared intentional deflection of the body cam to not be looking in the direction of the recovered item. And so it looked that all of a sudden, this contraband were found within this vehicle in places where, if they were there originally, they, number one, could not have been seen by the naked eye of the officer, or number two, would have been known to have existed by other vehicle occupants.
You still like these bottom right there? Yeah. It was shifted further over this way. Whenever I first made contact, you could see his shoulder raising. It was actually visibly moving up that piece of vinyl. When I walked up here and made contact with her, I said, "Man, what you doing under that vinyl?" He didn't know Trevor was standing right there. He was just digging under that baseball glove and then searched that immediate area for weapons. They took the baseball glove and they're over the bag in the straw. You going to jail, buddy? Going to jail? Have we locked these yet? Look, man, you're going to go to jail today for possession of methamphetamine, okay? It was in your vehicle right there at the center console.
Come on, man. Please.
I don't have much discretion with a felony charge, buddy. I don't have much discretion with that, man.
Dude, my mom is going to look. Oh, man. Dude, I'm serious, dude.
This guy is inhumane, man. This cop is no good. Can you imagine, chat? I want to hear from you. This guy has ruined people's lives, man. They were saying children were taken away, man, losing their kids over this hungry, driven cop breaking the backs of Americans, man, so he can be a success and become a lieutenant or a detective, make detective one day, and blah blah blah. I mean, and then he talks like he's the way she moved, I noticed it was something like, so he's talking like he's just like he's just got this down, man. Like he has that eye of the tiger, man. He's got that center eye, man. And and when she kind of leaned that way, I noticed the movement, and it kind of, yeah, you know what? That's why she's probably doing this, and it was, she was slick about it, but I noticed that little. He's like, he's putting way, like he's turning these stops into like straight crime scenes, man. Like, I noticed the way they were moving, and this, and every time he makes a bust. Oh my God. We're talking right now 67 charges. And it's probably way more than that, though, of people that he has put in jail.
Anything. What you want me to do, man?
Between 2016 and 2018, Jackson County, Florida Sheriff's Deputy Zachary Wester is making arrests for drug possession.
I moved the driver's seat forward. That little black container you saw me pull out, it had a crystallized substance in it. Whenever I tested that, it did return a presumptive positive for methamphetamine here in the field.
That's hers.
You are going to jail tonight for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia.
But
What?
something is strange in Wester's arrests.
The problem in Zachary Wester's case is we have a repeated pattern of Zachary Wester either turning off his camera, not turning it on, videos being deleted. That raises red flags to anybody.
Is it possible that Wester could be planting drugs on innocent people?
Oh,
Found it in the driver's side compartment.
what do you think?
Watched three seats.
Yeah.
When you watch these body cam footages, most of these searches are only being conducted by Zachary Wester. There's not a second person in the car helping him. So he's in there by himself while the second officer, the backup officer, is watching the suspect. So that does give Zachary Wester ample opportunity and time to plant those drugs.
If this test, what I think it's going to test for, it's going to put me even more of a fast spot because it's a felony.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about here too.
It did test presumptive positive in the field for methamphetamine.
The how he planted it in my car is still a question that literally keeps me up at night. I still can't figure it out. I know what happened, I just don't know how.
How quickly can you get there? Because I'm being arrested for possession of narcotics. I don't want to talk about it right now.
The only explanation I've been able to come up with is he went to the back of his car, he put the bag with the syringe in his glove, carried the gloves to the car, dumped it in the passenger seat,
Of course.
then put the gloves on, and quote unquote started his search. Jackson County police officers, they wore short sleeves. They weren't long sleeves. He couldn't have tucked it in his shirt. He didn't like reach down on his boot or anything like that. I think he just carried it in his glove from the back of his patrol car into mine.
Let's take a closer look at these stops to see if Wester is the one breaking the law.
You know what that is?
No, sir.
You don't know what that maybe appears to be?
Maybe meth or cocaine.
Okay.
I've never seen that in my life.
And the straw has some residue in it, okay?
Most people will make denials, and that's why the law is pretty clear when you try to refute the existence of probable cause. A suspect's denials are not sufficient to refute probable cause.
Oh, all right. Both of y'all are just going to be detained at this time, okay? I can undetain you, I just can't unarrest you.
What the hell?
But there is a consistent look of surprise on these people's faces. You can tell when people feign surprise. You can tell when it's an, "oh shucks, you found my stuff." This was a little bit different.
Check fingerprints on that bottle.
Yeah, we will.
I do not do drugs.
It was a level of indignation, shock.
At this point, you are detained, okay? All right? When I was searching the vehicle on the side that you were seated, in like a brown tie-up bag, that white little Excedrin bottle, okay? Bottom corner, with the way it was positioned, I opened it up, there is a crystallized substance in the bottom of it. It did return a presumptive positive for methamphetamine here on the side of the road. So my question is...
I don't do anything. I don't mess with that stuff.
Part of the other problem is that this officer was trying to convince them that maybe somebody else left something in their vehicle, to explain away why they genuinely might not know that there was contraband in their vehicle. And so that is able to create some plausible deniability for him that maybe it wasn't him that put it there.
You gotta be careful who you let in your vehicle. Okay, if that is not yours...
This company policy, though, man, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Like, I have to have an employee with me come to the bank for the deposit every single morning. Wester's demeanor on the side of the road was probably the worst part.
Guy's
Not because
dirty,
he was
man.
mean, but because he was
This
so
dude is
nice.
dirty.
This is unfortunate for you today, okay?
Yeah, believe me.
This is gonna be a fork in the road, man. You go left or right, right?
The buddy demeanor, then, oh no, you're going to jail. It was a lot of the same MO over and over and over again.
This is the fork in the road, buddy. You got to make a decision about your life. Either you're going to keep going left or you're going to get right. Which one you going to do, man? You can't keep just living this life like this, man. I'm here to help you, and I just think that this is just another way of getting you back on the right track. The lying pit of hell, the devil himself. Man, my God, my God, my God.
He was playing a game, which is sick.
But catching Wester in the act is not so simple.
Yeah, this guy thinks he's slick,
That
man.
container was right here.
I combed through these videos and you do not directly see him planting evidence. You see what could be argued to be an inadvertent aversion of body camera at the critical moment that stuff is recovered. He essentially was employing like magic tricks to hide evidence.
If I was driving that vehicle right here, okay, and if my corporal pulled me over and searched the vehicle, and if he found that, what would happen?
Probably wouldn't be working here.
I wouldn't be working here, I'd lose my certification, I'd go to jail. Whenever you get behind the wheel of that vehicle, dude,
No,
you're in possession of
come
everything
on,
in this
bro.
vehicle, okay?
You
Out
guys,
in Jackson County, Florida, between 2016 and 2018,
my God,
Sheriff's Deputy
Lord.
Zachary Wester is arresting various people after supposedly finding narcotics in the cars they were driving.
If I would have never lifted the center console, I would not have seen that orange part sticking up. It was right between the console and the front passenger seat, man.
Not only do these motorists claim the drugs don't belong to them,
You were in constructive possession of methamphetamine, okay? So you are going to jail today for possession of methamphetamine because it was on your side of the vehicle. What?
I don't do nothing.
What I'm going to do, though, since that young little boy's looking back, I'm not going to put you in handcuffs, okay?
But between inconsistencies in his reporting, the body cam turning off at key moments, and the locations of where the drugs are found, something's not right. And someone starts taking notice.
There was a whistleblower in this case named Christina Pumphrey. She worked for the state attorney's office at the time. There were a lot of things with this case that just didn't sit right with her. So she started doing her own investigating.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Listen to this guy, man.
Is that seat slide? Man, I'm in the Christmas spirit. What we got there?
Well,
man? Look at there.
I'm ruining people's
We actually
lives.
start picking up on some discrepancies from his reports to what's actually shown on the body-worn camera. And this right here is the crucial moment. We need to look into this a little bit further. We've got to notify the supervision to start running an investigation into Wester. At that point, they start pulling all these traffic stops.
However, there's a big problem.
So this ain't yours in the door right here. You are going to be detained now, okay? Because it's in the door. Okay, I'm just detaining you. Just put your hands behind your back for me.
On his body cam footage, we don't actually ever see him planting their narcotics. That raises some red flags to me. Did he actually find the drugs, or were they actually planted? I don't know.
Come on, man. No one could be
He
this
had
lucky.
mastered what he was doing. He knew when to turn his body camera off. He knew when to keep it on. He knew when to find whatever he was going to find. The fact that he was so comfortable doing it, he was so good at only showing what he wanted to show.
What's so good
until
about
it came
that?
to the Teresa Odom video. That's when he really slipped up.
Deputy Westwood Jackson County Sheriff's Office, reason for my stop is your brake lights. They work 1 minute, and the next minute they don't work. You got your driver's license on you, ma'am?
I just got tickets the other day.
So think about this. He gets behind her and realizes, oh, her brake lights work, and then they don't work. They work, then they don't work. How does he know when she's hitting the brakes or touching the brakes? So what he's saying is, I pulled you over, but your brakes are probably working, but I'm not sure. It was a justification to pull over because everything was working on the car. This guy, from the very point of connecting, making connection with them, connecting with people, he started the whole traffic thing is started with a lie. And he says that just to cover his butt, because if she goes back there and says, what do you mean my brake lights are not working? And she hits it and has someone check it and they're working, that's the end of the stop. So when he says your brake lights are working off on this and on, then can I go and just get your ID? Okay, so are you giving me a ticket, or you're just giving me a warning real quick? Or now we're gonna go through this. So what he's doing is he's gonna take advantage of I gotta get in the truck now somehow. And this next thing he's gonna say is, it smells like weed. Oh, you don't smoke weed? What, did you have someone in the car that smoked weed? No, I didn't. So this guy, everything he's doing is against the law. It's against the Fourth Amendment, our Fourth Amendment rights. He's lying. He's lying about the weed, and that's probably he's lying. He smelled anything. He's just lying about. He's lying about the brakes. He's lying about everything, every single thing. And eventually, what happens with lies? The truth comes out. That's what I love about Truthtellers, because the truth will always win in the end, baby.
I'll be glad to show
Oh,
you.
did you? Nah, you're fine. Would you consent to a search of your vehicle? You're fine with that? Okay.
You know, we saw in the Teresa Odom case.
Let's make some
where
comments,
there was
guys.
a frame-by-frame shot of his body camera, and we saw that there was a clear baggie in Wester's hand during the stop.
Boom. You could tell he's holding something. This hand's wide
You can
open.
physically see
His other four
a
fingers.
packet with a white powder in his hand before he puts his glove on, which he later finds that same packet in Teresa Odom's truck.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know.
It's yogurt.
How about this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any
No,
direct,
sir.
I'm not going to ask you any direct questions. I'm going to read you your rights first, okay?
That's what blew the case wide open in reality. What you see in his hand before he ever searches the truck. That's what really, really got him in trouble.
Authorities discover a
Oh,
stash
yeah,
of
he
drugs
hasn't
and
even searched yet.
paraphernalia hidden in the trunk of Wester's patrol car. After an investigation by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, it's suspected that Zachary Wester planted narcotics in dozens of traffic stops. In 2019, Wester is arrested, and he's ultimately charged with 67 crimes with respect to 12 victims. Racketeering,
Wow.
official misconduct, fabricating evidence, false imprisonment, perjury,
False
and possession
imprisonment.
of controlled substances and drug paraphernalia.
The first thing that I thought was this deputy wants to get involved in some type of narcotics unit. So he's trying to pad his numbers.
What did I say, chat? Please hit your comments. I want to hear what you have to say. But I said that at the beginning of this film. He's doing this because he wants to become like a detective or something. That's why he started doing these fake drug busts. He could have started doing a lot of things, but he went after making drug busts. Like this guy has this thing about he knows people and he knows how drug addicts work. And man, this guy would be a great investigator out there in the drug world. If we could bring him in, part of the team. So that's why he would talk and explain to every police officer on there how he found it and the way the person was moving. I was explaining that earlier. This guy had an agenda. Instead of doing the hard work and putting the time in, he wanted to cheat his way to the top. He wanted to step on every person he needed to get to the top. And you guys know God don't like ugly, and this dude is ugly.
He kept seeing during these traffic stops was it seemed to always be methamphetamine. Nothing really surprises me there. We still have a methamphetamine problem across the United States. A proactive law enforcement officer, you stumble upon drugs on a frequent basis. He's trying to show that he goes out here, he makes big cases. I worked in a unit that focused on street level narcotics, and it's hard to get into these units.
He gave me a piece of advice. Sometimes the people you think you can trust are the very ones you shouldn't. That has stuck with me as the most chilling thing. He said, yeah, I probably shouldn't have trusted the police officer standing in front of me. And how awful is that to have to say?
It's true.
When you think of all the other people before me and after me who he played the same game with, and he won those. He had no fear in what he was doing. To have that kind of power and use it that way, it's disgusting.
Straight up
Zachary
disgusting.
Wester may have been arrested, but he is presumed innocent.
Yeah.
The more challenging issue now is, can prosecutors prove Zachary Wester is guilty?
That band's singing it. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to hum a tune in case something ever goes in front of the jury, So they're not just sitting somewhere just like elevator music.
He thinks he's funny too.
In May 2021, a Florida trial began that was quite startling to see. A former police officer named Zachary Wester was facing 67 criminal charges in connection with planting drugs on unsuspecting and innocent motorists.
This is a case about an abuse of an incredible power. The defendant used his position as a deputy sheriff to make traffic stops on 12 members of this community and plant methamphetamine in their cars. Methamphetamine and paraphernalia. He turned what should be a law enforcement agency, and is, into something for his own use that was criminal.
The strongest evidence was what was examined under a closer professional eye. We have a very similar MO, a policy, a practice that this individual employed, the recovery of the same type of substance, not within direct view of body cam, movements that could not be accounted for, divergent paperwork, unexplained discrepancies in tests and field testing.
Josh Emanuel voluntarily told the defendant that he had a gun in his car before the defendant had any reason to search it. Now, why would he do that if methamphetamine was really in his car? Why would Mr. Bowling give the defendant his corrections ID, letting this deputy know right away that he's got a criminal history? Why would he do that if there was methamphetamine in the car?
Man, if I know that there's CFT, you go here and search, man. Come on, man. Really?
People still do sometimes.
Why would they consent to a search of the car? There's no reason to. They consented to search because they didn't have anything to hide.
And the prosecution honed in on arguably their strongest piece of evidence.
Why in the world does the defendant have palmed in his hand, which is clasped like this, not like this, not like this, like this, a plastic baggie? Why in the world does he have that there? I would submit that this is objective evidence where you see him planting drugs in the moment. You see something in his hand that has no reason, no logical reason, given this stop and what we know about it, for it to be there. This is him planting evidence, and you see it.
People were saying you could see the baggie. I could not see it. I think the hardest part for a prosecutor here is, number one, there's no smoking gun. And number two, there's a really flimsy motive for the regular person. You have to understand why someone with so much to lose would risk.
Jeez.
Mr. Wester
I
went
just sit
one
here
by one
thinking how
through each and every
crazy.
stop and arrest. Many other officers, all nothing unusual,
God.
no red flags with anything Mr. Wester did. Many of those same officers were not surprised at
No
all
regard, man.
that those suspects denied ownership of the drugs and the paraphernalia that Mr. Wester found in their cars. There is no direct evidence of Mr. Wester doing anything wrong. Not one person said they saw him doing anything unusual.
Not actually seeing him plant the drugs, that may come off as, that was just a bad angle of the camera. But again, juries do want to actually see that. Jurors want to see physical evidence.
Many of them entered pleas. Nobody challenged anything in a courtroom, and nobody filed any complaints with the sheriff's office.
Here's the other harder part, the victims. Some of them pleaded guilty. And what that means is, if you plead guilty, you can't later say that you didn't do it. The people who admitted that the drugs were theirs, in the eye of the law, the drugs were theirs.
Most of the people that got up there and testified also said, yeah, I'm suing. At least one of them said, yes, a conviction here would definitely help my civil case. So is there an interest? Yes. And what is that? Money.
Some of these people on traffic stops entered a guilty plea because they felt like, who's going to believe my word over a deputy sheriff's word? That's a legitimate concern. So you've got a public defender or your attorney that's saying, hey, look, if you just plead to this, you're going to get no prison time. The pressure's on you just to say, I want this to go away.
And the jury got to hear from those alleged victims themselves.
The white small plastic baggie that was in that spoon that the deputy just showed you on this video. Had you ever seen that before?
No, sir.
Was that in your car?
No, sir. He said that he smelled marijuana emitting from the vehicle.
Had you been smoking marijuana in the vehicle?
No, sir, absolutely not.
What about Miss Smith?
Absolutely not. She was 3 months pregnant.
How long was it between you packing Reginald's lunch and this defendant pulling you over and saying he found meth in it?
Less than 5 minutes.
Was there any meth in that lunchbox?
No, sir.
Did you put any meth in
No,
it?
sir. He told Reginald put his hands behind his back, and he told me to go over towards the tree.
At some point, did you try to film this on your phone?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
He was acting weird. He told me that I would be arrested if I did not put my phone down.
Testifying against Wester was scary just for the fact that you're testifying against a law enforcement officer.
The only thing I really saw was the fact that he kept going back into the car, like several times, over and over and over again. Because he'd come back, he'd talk to me, he'd go back to the car, he'd come back to me, he'd go back to the car.
this is someone the state has put in place to protect and serve. They're entrusted with the public safety. They're entrusted to do the right thing, and they took an oath to do so. So when you're sitting in a courtroom saying, that's a dirty cop, it doesn't look good.
He said he found a syringe in a baggie that looked like it had been used. He said it was stuffed down in between the passenger seat and the center console.
Would you have seen it if something was there?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Was there anything like that there?
No.
Everybody says they're innocent. Everybody said it wasn't mine. Everybody says they have nothing to do with it. So going into that, you're thinking, how many other people have been in my spot testifying against an officer? Typically that doesn't go very well.
You never saw him with a needle or bag or anything in his hands until after he came out of your car? No, he was pretty far in there when he was reaching for the gun. Did you see him reaching in his pockets or anything? No. And he's wearing short sleeves, so he didn't have anything up his sleeves either, did he?
But I knew I had to do it. I had a clean record. I was the quote-unquote key witness in this case because of my clean record. So me testifying was a big deal for the state.
Then it was time for Zachary Wester to take the stand.
Did you plant this substance in Mr. Williams' lunchbox?
I did not.
The report that you wrote in that case, did you falsify anything in this report?
Nothing. No, sir.
With Miss Wood, was there anything with her that you planted so that you could arrest her?
No.
Was there anything in your report that wasn't true about Miss Wood?
No.
The marijuana shake and the methamphetamine that you found in the vehicle, did you plant that there?
I did not. No.
This case is tough because you're dealing with a professional witness. Cops, part of their
Jeez.
job is they testify.
Oh my
Police
God.
officers are trained to be great witnesses.
The allegation is you found 6, but only entered 5 into evidence.
And that would be correct.
Okay. Tell us why.
It was determined that one that was unused could have very well been for his diabetes that he just stated that he uses syringes for. So I didn't determine that one to be of evidentiary value, and it was just simply disposed of.
Did you take that other needle and hide it in your car to plant in somebody else's car later?
No, I did not.
There are certain strategies and techniques when people testify that become learned and practiced over time. Not getting overly emotional, answering only what is asked, responding in a way that is non-confrontational, non-argumentative.
In all of these cases that we talked about, you did not plant any evidence.
That never crossed my mind. No.
These were legitimate stops, searches, and you found illegal narcotics.
Yes, sir.
By and large, he was really good on the stand.
Methamphetamine is quite prevalent here in Jackson County, correct?
Methamphetamine is very prevalent in Jackson County. I've seen firsthand the destruction that methamphetamine has on families, has on friends, and in my job as a deputy sheriff, I wanted to be as proactive as I could. I didn't feel that the citizens of Jackson County wanted to pay me to just sit somewhere and wait for a call.
Wester even tried to explain away the arguably incriminating evidence from the Odom stop.
In the void space, there was a baggie of some sort. I didn't know at the time if it was of evidentiary value or not. It didn't appear as if it had narcotics in it. It didn't appear as if it had anything that may have been of value, but nonetheless, I wanted to try to preserve it, so I grabbed it. And whenever I entered the vehicle, it was in my left hand, but I wanted to be able to still use my fingers. Before I put my gloves on, I moved my hand and I placed the item in the driver's side floorboard, and I continued my search.
The state was showing these still photos. There's something in your hand.
Sure.
There is something in your hand.
Absolutely.
Was it
What is it?
that bag of methamphetamine that's sitting there on that spoon right now?
It was not, no.
It was obvious to me that Wester had been coached a lot
Oh,
for his testimony.
come on, big
That's not
time.
uncommon. Wester had done his homework and really prepped for the questions that were probably going to be asked by the state prosecution.
Where on your body camera video do we see you handle that baggie and either picking it up or putting it down or looking at it closely to determine what's in it?
whenever I put that baggie in the front driver's side floorboard, I never seen it again. I'm not sure if it's because when the semi came through, it blew it into the roadway. There was really no need for me to go walk across 231 at the busiest time of the day to try to find something that I didn't even know was evidentiary value or not.
Oh my
Why'd you set it
God.
down on the floorboard if you didn't know if it had evidentiary value or not?
So that I could search the vehicle.
How about searching what's in your hand? How about that?
I didn't expect him to actually get on the stand. He kept like moving his nose. He was very twitchy and nervous the whole time. He lost his cool on the stand several times with the state attorney.
Your theory was that because
Wow.
mom had been in the car at some point and mom had been a meth user years before, that even if they were in accidental possession, that you went ahead and arrested them.
I did. And here's the thing. Most of the time, they deny knowledge. So, Mr. Williams, you're presenting to this jury that in the First Circuit where you work.
Oh,
that if
shut up.
someone
Just
says
answer
that
the
they didn't know
question.
about the narcotics, you're just going to drop the case on every single narcotics charge that comes on your
You're not
desk.
you're not asking questions.
You know that's not what I'm saying.
It sounds to me that's what you're saying.
Okay. Well, thank you for your input.
He's
Now,
all
I'm
mad. He's
sure
all
that
mad.
I asked the questions. You
You're going to
answered them.
prison, boy.
I just really believe that he came across a little cocky, a little arrogant, versus, hey, I'm truly innocent here.
The goal of the body camera is to allow someone else in this very court system, perhaps, to see what you or any other deputy would see while they had that body camera on. Isn't that right?
Body cameras are very beneficial. Yes.
Not for Reginald Williams. We don't have one, right? So why don't we have one for him?
If the body camera video for Mr. Reginald Williams would not have been deleted from the server, this jury would have had a chance to review that body camera.
Who deleted it?
Mr. Williams, I don't know.
If someone deleted it, did they delete the front part of the manual video? Did they go in and delete that as well?
Mr. Williams, I've already testified as to the first part of that Emmanuel
Man,
video, and I made it
my
very clear
God.
that the body camera
He's all
experienced
mad.
malfunction.
And it so happened that missed the part where you would have first gotten into the car and had a chance to see the syringe.
This guy's
in the
mad.
baggie. Is that right?
I would disagree with that.
That's not when the error occurred?
I would disagree with that.
Then why isn't it on the video?
Mr. Williams, I've explained this to you 3 or 4 times now.
Answer
as far
the
as why that is
question.
not on the video.
So what? I'll answer 10
For some
times.
reason you will not answer that to the jury.
The body camera error occurred as soon as the traffic stop was initiated.
The defense's case was actually pretty solid, and it's not really due to the defense attorney. It was Wester's covering of his actions. He had an explanation for everything. He had cut his body cam on and off at certain times
All the time.
perfectly and explained it away as a malfunction. You know, and they questioned people involved in IT in that department. You know, is this a possibility?
I'll tell you right now, this guy, he was on his way to, not only was he doing people wrong, he was eventually gonna probably end up killing somebody. Because this guy, he ain't all there. First of all, he thinks he's smarter than everybody. He thinks he's smarter than the detectives. And because he thinks he's smarter than everybody, he thinks he deserves to be in those type of positions, to be in control, so he can do more bad stuff. See, eventually, if he would have got to that level, can you imagine how many crimes and how many people he would have just took it to a whole nother level, you know, getting people that didn't commit murder, getting people that, you know, just as long as he could solve those cases, so where he becomes like the number one detective now. And so, you know, and where's he go? He goes into these places, man, that people are hurting, people with no money, people that are, you know, where violence is, and they don't have enough money for their own lawyer. And so, yeah, you know, to him, it's an easy win. And that's where he failed. He thought he was smarter than everyone, and he's not. He's not smarter than God, because God don't like ugly, like I said. And when you're ugly, you can't hide it. And so what God did, God revealed it. he revealed the lies, and here we are.
Yeah, it's a
Let's
possibility.
come in
It's
for a
body cam.
landing.
Now, you've
Come on, chat.
testified that
Tell me
you
what you
saw
think. We're
Kimberly
coming in for a landing.
Hazelwood reach down and put that Excedrin bottle in that trash bag. Is that right?
Yes.
Where's that on the video?
The body camera doesn't pick it up. Okay. But whenever you look through the back window, you will be surprised at how a body camera,
What do you mean look through
how
the
it
back
darkens
window?
things. And you have to remember, a body camera sees a narrow field of view. It sees what it wants to see. So I was able to see that with my eyes through that back glass.
So
That was tough to sit in the courtroom and say, I don't know how he did it, but I know he did. And I hope there's enough evidence to prove it. The packet being in his hand before he put his glove on. The fact that he didn't have him finding anything on camera. It was just there. So the jury really had to go by their belief in whether or not he was a dirty cop.
Yep.
And to the jury this case went. Would they believe Zachary Wester was upholding the law or breaking the law?
They better.
After deliberating more than 7 hours over the course of 2 days, this was the jury's decision.
We, the jury, find as follows as to the counts charged and the information. Count 1, guilty of racketeering as charged. Count 2,
Racketeering.
not guilty. Count 3, not guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 7, guilty of official misconduct related to Teresa Odom as charged.
In a split decision, the jurors found Zachary Wester
Ooh.
guilty of 19 charges,
Come on.
including racketeering, official misconduct,
Yes.
false imprisonment, and possession, but not guilty on 48 other charges.
Wow.
So I think they came back with the right verdict, convicting him on the charges that they had the strongest evidence on.
There were so many more not guilties called out than there were guilty verdicts. And that was rough to hear as someone who went through it. He's getting off on all of these cases. But in the end, after all was said and done, he was found guilty on charges relating to 3 of the people involved. Myself, Stephen Van, and Teresa Odom.
Yes.
In that moment, you're like,
Come
somebody
on,
realized
chat.
that this wasn't right. And you start thinking that maybe he'll get the time he deserves.
As to count 1, racketeering, which is a first-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 7, official misconduct, 18 months. As to count 31, fabricating evidence, 1 year and 1 day. As to count 64, that's false imprisonment, you were sentenced to serve 1 year and 1 day. Therefore, it is the intention of the court that you were sentenced to serve a total of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections.
There's no one that dislikes a dirty
20
cop
would
more
have
than
been
I do.
great.
It's wrong. It's
But
taints
12,
the
okay.
agency, it taints the
Okay,
badge.
for a police officer.
Actions
Woo.
and behavior like this in law enforcement will not be tolerated, and you will be held accountable for your actions.
People lost kids, grandkids,
Heck yeah, man.
their right to work.
Come
No
on,
questions
man.
asked. I mean, I still have my fair share of side effects from it. To this day, if I see police lights, my heart drops and I have a panic attack on the road. There's a bad apple in every profession, but when you run into a bad cop, that can change your life. And it can be for the good, it can be for the worst, and this time, for a lot of people, it was for the worst.
Chat. Listen up, man. Please weigh in to the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Listen, man, we got another one getting ready to come out tomorrow. Listen, I'm gonna bring out some different stuff, man. We're not just gonna stay with police. We're gonna be dealing with different issues and stuff. But listen, man, this was a one that we need to be educated on, man, because listen, this guy was getting away with too much. And one of the things he said, what I liked, was that the people stood up and said, listen, I didn't do this, and they took it all away, man, to court. Then eventually, with the investigation, as they stood on that, investigators were able to get in there and evaluate what was going on some of these cases, and look at what was revealed, man. So kudos to those that stood up for their rights, stood up and said, "Listen, man, I don't know what this cop found, but I don't do drugs. I don't smoke weed. I don't do these things. I'm not a meth addict, you know." And unfortunately, a lot of people got convicted and lost and ruined families. But thank God this guy's took it off the streets, and yeah, man. And I believe that more accountability like this, and thank God for the body cams and YouTube. Thank God for people like yourselves that get behind YouTubers and get behind these videos. You say, "Oh, this video is no big deal." No, it's important that you support what we do, man, because the more stories we get involved in, and the more people we have backing us, that makes us more effective out here in our community. The more people we have, the more people are going to see those videos, and the more effective it becomes. We become an army. Our voice becomes one, rather than just you saying something or me saying something, and we're just all, "Oh, whatever, I'll share my little story." No, but if we come together and say, "Let's support this channel, man," because this guy's exposing stuff. They're bringing truth, and I mean, and that's what people need, man. This is good for our kids to learn from. Good for you, mom, dad, everybody. When we get pulled over, no, you can't come in my car. There's no reason for you to check my car. And cops say, "Well, why are you guilty? If you got nothing to hide, just let me get in." No, that ain't gonna work. Reverse psychology ain't working on me, buddy. There's laws that you have to abide by, and I abide by, and you know, unless you suspect me of a crime or committing a crime or gonna commit a crime, then you have to articulate that. Explain to me. You can't just say, "Oh, well, someone told us this." No, that's not enough. By law, that's not enough. That's our Fourth Amendment right. Stand for your rights. You don't have to. People. Do you have ID? Do you have this for what? Well, just want to know who you are. Well, that's not your problem. Okay, my name's Frank. Nice to meet you. So please, chat. Let me hear from you guys. Get behind this. Please subscribe. This was a good one. I hope you were encouraged, man. Until next time, man. Let's go ahead and do this. This thing once again. I enjoyed it. I know you did. So I don't know. I hope you really get behind this.